Stuff here. Sorry about that. And testing. I hope anyone can hear me. Just to verify. Okay. Sound is good. Camera is a little off still. There we go, that's better. Alright, well, it has been a long time since we've been on the stream. But we're gonna get going anyway. Just have to set everything up here. Once again, I apologize. It's been a very long time, and just want to get everything squared away here. Make sure that all the audio is good, the video is good. I think the autofocus is working right now. If it doesn't work, then we're gonna have to make some on-the-fly adjustments. The lighting is okay, it looks like, but let's get going here. I hope the sound is okay with my voice. I am a little scraggly right now. I had 3 hockey games today, so a little bit of cheering and yelling going on. So excuse me if my voice is a little raspy. But tonight we're gonna be tying some steelhead flies. In the last 9 months since I've been gone, my steelhead and salmon fly box has been decimated. It I let my family use it while I was gone, since I couldn't use it for the season, and then it's pretty much empty now. I got to do some refilling, so I thought, what's better than just hang out with you guys and do some tying. If there's any questions, please let me know in the chat. I'll answer any and all questions. And if there's any requests for any flies or anything like that, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. But first, I gotta get this bobbin spooled up and get to work here. So we're gonna be changing this 70 denier yellow. It's actually 72 denier yellow. I don't know where I got specifically 72 denier. It's kind of an odd number that I'm used to, but I do have a few spools of this. I think I got it at like just like a regular fabric store, which is probably why, and explains why this is happening. But yeah, while I get this set up, I'm going to be starting off with my favorite thread, the UTC 140 denier in fluorescent orange. That is my favorite thread for these types of flies. It's really bright, strong, and allows you to really cinch down on this material. But while I do that and prep for that, I'm going to turn this fan off here. It's causing some light issues, so please bear with me. I'll be right back. We are back. The fan is slowing. Just want to get in tying position here. Auto adjust, please. Autofocus, please. There we go. All right, so we got our bobbin holder, pretty standard, cheap one. All we gotta do is put our thread in on both sides of this, like that, and then thread the thread through the very small hole here. So it's going to go through this hole here up out the top, and that's what we're going to use. One thing I like to do is moistening the tip just with your tongue, and then sliding that in there, and then all you need is a quick inhale, and it's out. So real simple way to get that threaded. Next is hook selection. So since it's been a while since I tied, I'm probably going to start pretty big, like a size 4, I'm thinking. So I have a couple size 4 hooks here. Like always, I'm usually sticking to the Gamakatsu octopus hooks. They're really strong and reliable. If anyone knows me, you know that these are my go-to hooks for salmon fishing, steelhead fishing. Yes, there are better, or I wouldn't say better, but I'd say there are stronger hooks out there. But with those hooks also come a price. These are really cheap. You can get a dozen of these or 8 to 10 of these at Walmart or any store that sells any sort of fishing gear for like $5 or less. So it's pretty good. You can't beat that. So here we have our hook. We're gonna add a small amount of lead-free wire, 0.020, and I really mean a small amount. It's just to help balance the fly a little bit. I grabbed about 3/8 to 1/2 inch and helicoptered it off to break it. Just gonna coil 3 or 4 wraps here. Looks like 3.5 on this size hook. Not bad. And that'll get the job done. It just helps balance the fly. And I'm going to keep it right about in the middle of the shank of the hook, right there. So next we're going to attach our fluorescent orange UTC thread. And we're not going to attach it that close to the eye because the goal is to not tie it that close to the eye. I'm going to attach it right in front of our wire, if I can. Like I said, please bear with me as it's been a while since I tied. I haven't really had the opportunity with work the last 9 months and travel. But fun times. Snip off our tag end, and then we're just going to make a little ramp on both sides of the wire, and then we're going to cover as much of it as we can to a reasonable extent. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you'll see here that it's not perfect, but we're gonna cover as much as we can. Especially we want a smooth landing zone for our material here. And that's pretty good right there. So now we're going to go into the middle of our shank of our hook here. We're going to select our yarn, of course. Got a wide variety here to select from. I like the UV blended ones, UV enhanced. Of course, there's multiple brands that do that. But just start out with this green color, this chartreuse, just because this time of year, this pattern or this color works really well. So I'm just grabbing about an inch or two, inch and a half of this material. I'm going to wrap it around the thread like this. I'm going to make a loop once around and then pull it straight down. Pull some tension here before you make a wrap in front of and behind it. You don't want to pull too tight and pull your hook out of your vise or break the thread, but you do need to add a bit of tension. You'll be able to feel it. What's right. Okay, now that is pretty well secure there. Just doing a couple wraps in front and behind, figure 8 wraps, and then some around just the material. Lock it in place, you know. But we got to add the hot spot yet too. So it's important to add that hot spot, in which we are using Glowbug brand micro bling is what it's called, in cotton candy color. It's I like that color. Normally I would tie this in with the strand, but tonight I'm making an exception for this particular fly. And we're just going to secure that in there. Do the same thing, make some wraps around, in front, behind, through the middle, all the things. You cannot wrap this too many times, in my opinion. It's probably not true, but we're gonna make sure this thing is not going anywhere. And I believe that we are to that point. So now, the fun part is the whip finish. So this is a whip finish tool here. If you're not familiar, I know some beginner fly fishermen see a tool like this and they're wondering what the heck it is. But all you do is you grab the thread with the hook on the end of it, and then you place the thread in the bump behind it. You cross the wires, make an X, and then put that X right on where you want to secure it. And then it does all the work for you. So you want to do 5 or 6 turns here. And then you take that loop from the second crossover point of the tool, pop it out, and then slowly with tension, you pull the other hook out, pull it tight, and you're good to go. So I like doing that 2 times. Each time 5 or 6 turns. And make sure you're using this opportunity to smooth out any imperfections you have on the ramp for your fly. The fluorescent orange, the reason why I use it is because it also adds to the hotspot of the pink. Um, so it's just flashy. It really is just flashy. Now we just grab the clump, and then with regular household scissors, we pull straight up on the clump, and then about 1 hook gap is the length I usually use. So depending on the size that you're using, 1 hook gap to even maybe slightly less than 1 hook gap. Cut straight across as you're pulling on this to get some tension. There I had some slip out. That's fine, we can just go in and trim it. But the key is to have tension on it, and then all you gotta do is fluff it out at the end. And I see that we got another long straggler there. So you can always go back here and fix it to your liking. But in fact, if I'm not cutting the whole clump, I can come in here with these scissors and cut it. I just don't like using my tying scissors to cut through all the yarn because it'll dull them out really quickly. All right, simple, easy, very effective. But now we have a straggly looking salmon egg fly, steelhead egg. Got two tones of colors here. Makes it really good. The autofocus probably isn't going to work that close, but we'll see. And in the water, this is going to round out as it drifts and look pretty lifelike. This yarn material it's in the water when it gets wet. It's pretty lifelike if you haven't seen it yourself. But all right, let's do the same size hook. Start over. Try it again. So once again, got Makatsu octopus hooks. Now the autofocus is broken. There we go. We got size 4 right now, just because I feel like I'm butchering these. And it doesn't really matter. These flies can be ugly. I've caught fish on these, and they look very ugly, but nonetheless, they're so effective. We're gonna go with the salmon egg color this time. Give me a different close-up here. It is UV enhanced, and as you can see, if the screen is clear, pretty cheap stuff here. But don't let the price fool you. These are worth it in every way. Definitely worth the investment. Now for this, we are not going to tie a pink cotton candy colored hotspot for this because the fly itself is pink. But what we have here is red, which will contrast the pink, as you can see. They will contrast each other, and we have a full strand here. I know it's not micro yarn, but we're just going to pull this apart into thirds or fourths even until we get a thinner amount to work with. And in fact, I have some right here, so I keep a pile of this is my spare clumps pile, and I got some red in here of a short length that I can just pick apart until I like the size of the hotspot. Give it a little twist then, And then it should be good to go. Just like that, we have a little micro yarn doobie. We gotta place that inside our clump here and wrap it around the hook then when we get to that part. So first, we're gonna add 1/2 inch of wire. This time we're gonna go for full 4 wraps, hopefully. We did 3.5 wraps last time, which is fine. But I would like to go 4 if I can. Using small amounts of this can be tricky. But just watch your finger around the hook point. You'll be good to go. We got 4 there. Count it out, folks. We got 4. All right. Once again, we're going to place that in the middle. And we're going to back it up a little bit until we get our tie-in point. Then we're going to slide it back forward. Go over top of it. Make another thread dam behind it. And snip it off. All right, so keeping this bump as small as you can is it's not important, but in my opinion, it just makes the fly look more professional. Just dresses it up a little bit. All right, we covered most of our hook there. Excuse me. And now we are going to wrap our yarn, the micro and the larger yarn, around our thread, make our loop, and cinch it down. Bounce it a couple times, and then lock it in. Figure 8 wraps here will help lock it into place, and then some helicopter wraps, of course. I haven't been able to fish the Salmon River since I've been back. I did go out to a local river here that's a little closer to my house, a lot bigger waters. I was just throwing at anything I could out there, see if I can get some action, but unfortunately I had no luck. But that's okay. We got to just get our feet wet, not literally, but get our boots wet at least, get the line wet, and have some fun throwing some flies out, just dead drifting. So now we're whip finishing our fly, our egg, and that's it. All we gotta do is trim it after this. Got our thread free, and we're good to go. I'm gonna re-spool some of this so I don't have such a long length. But that is gonna look nice. All right. Clearing my old shears here. Make sure there's no debris from the last one so I can try to get a smooth cut. This time a little smoother than last. And I failed again at the same spot. It's just bad kitchen shears. But we recovered. All right, so we got a good red dot on there, good blood dot, good salmon egg color, And then we also have some exposed orange threads on the bottom, just giving it a little extra flair. But overall, I'm pleased with that one. Pretty good turnout, if you ask me. I just want to thank everyone for joining in on the stream. Um, I know I've been gone for a while, but I do appreciate the support, and I hope that I can help anyone out there. Um, I mean, the goal for the stream would eventually be to get this stream to be more interactive and kind of like have requests for flies, even like if I could get people on the other end to sit down and tie flies with me concurrently while we're doing it and just like talking back and forth, that would be amazing. I mean, we can get a Discord chat going, get people interactive here. It would just be fun. But these are goals, and goals take time to achieve. So for now, we're just going to tie some flies and hang out. You know what I mean? Nothing wrong with that. All right, we are on our last size 4 Gamakatsu octopus hook. And after that, we'll have to do some other hooks. We'll have to pick some other hooks. So we will. What color are we going to look at this time? Thinking white. White sounds pretty good. Yeah, we'll go with, I mean, it's kind of white. It's anchovy. It's like a lighter color. It's like a white, blue, gray type color. Just detach that from there. Gonna go with a hot pink hotspot this time, I think, instead of the cotton candy. Just got a clump out of my pile here. The cotton candy is the only micro yarn that I have, just because I've used it so much, but I do like to have a little variety in my fly box. So I'll use those a lot, but then I'll also mix it up with some of these other bright colors, like this one here. So let's lay that down there, and then we'll get to that later. Let's go for a 1/2 inch of wire. Get that on the hook here for balance. It may have gone a little more than a 1/2 inch. May have hit 5/8, but that's all right. Okay, good to go. Let's get tying. All right, we did a thread dam in front of our wires and behind our wires, and then we'll snip off our excess thread after our jam knots. Jam knots. I feel like we had multiple there, so we'll go stick with the plural. Just covering this. Our thread dams are practically up to the height of the wire, so it makes it real smooth underbody, which is the goal. And now our wire is mostly covered. So good enough there. Arm's a little itchy. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna attach our prepared micro yarn and whitish blue anchovy yarn. Attach it to the top of our hook again. Give it some bumps on both ends. When I say bumps, I mean I'm lifting the yarn and bumping it down with my thread hand. That's what I mean by that. All right, we did some good figure 8 wraps. Now we'll do some helicopter wraps and lock it in place. It really is that simple, guys. Like, this is probably the simplest fly I have in my box, for steelhead specifically and salmon, but it's just so effective. Like, I just like that's the only way to explain it. It's literally can take you, and if you do production flies on these, it could take you maybe 60 seconds to tie these. Maybe that's, I mean, I'm sure people could probably do it in 30, but we're just having fun here. So I almost forgot to do our whip finish there, which would have been okay. Is I just like doing the whip finish before the before I snip it, so I don't accidentally snip the thread. Yeah, that would not be good. Don't snip your thread. I mean, I've done it before, so from my experiences, definitely don't do that. Don't do what I do. All right, there's our first whip finish. Cinch that down. Then we got our second one here. Good to go. Snip it off, cut it free. You're good to go. But we're gonna keep tying these unless someone wants to see something specific. All right, there we go. Solid cut. Yeah, that one's nice. A little washed up. It's a washed egg. The lighter colors, they call them washed. Just their older season, better for the older, or like the late season. Pretty good flies in the late season. All right, but there's 3 size 4s. Now, let's see. I got a bunch of size 2s that I'm gonna use. I mean, I just have an abundance of them, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, so it's probably better off just to tie them and worry about how I'm gonna use them later. But with these, I'm gonna add a bead to them, and I'll show you guys how that changes our fly a little bit. I'm just gonna add a pretty large bead, pretty massive, but let's see. Easiest way to add a bead to a hook is to grab the bead with a set of needle nose pliers like this. And then we're going to fish the hook through the eye of the bead and pull it around Sometimes the needle nose pliers just help you get a little leverage on these hooks that you need to get it around the bend. But as you can see here, it's a pretty massive hook or bead. Just gonna center this a little more so you guys can see it. But it's pretty good. Here we're gonna add a little more wire. I'm gonna go about 1.25 inches this time, just because we're gonna shove it underneath this bead and just really let it sink down. You want to get these down in the water column quick. Even if you're float fishing, you want to get these down. The quicker it gets to the bottom, the more likely you have success with obviously you have more time in the zone, in the attack zone. So all right, we shove these coils up as far as we can on the hook or in the bead, and then we're just tying a jam knot behind it. And then we're covering up these wraps best as we can, as always. To an extent, I mean, we don't want to use an entire spool of thread tonight, but it'd be okay. Just order some more. Or we go down to Alaska and buy some at the shops. They have it in stock most of the time. Color. We're gonna try some more colors. This time we'll go with the actual glow bug brand and light blue. Pretty similar to the last color, but slightly different. This has a little more UV flash to it than the last one. And we're going to go back to the cotton candy. Our cotton candy blend here of the micro yarn. Appears that I have a knot in my yarn. I'm just trying to get this knot out so I can continue pulling this in the future. And then what I do is I stick the yarn through this hole here so that I always have the end readily available. I do that for the thick yarn as well. Just a quick little tip. All right, we got that on top of our blue. I'm going to fold it around the thread and place it on top of our hook shank with a closed loop. Cinch it down carefully without destroying any thread or forcefully removing your hook from the vise. As I've done before, that could be a little dangerous. You just hear a metallic cling against the wall from your hook. And this one's about done. Just got tied up. Behind the bead, of course, is where all your knots are going to be. snip it off as close as you can. We're gonna get our egg cut here. These don't have to be overly large. Here, with this larger hook size, I elected to go shorter than the hook gap. That's because this is a larger hook, and once you get this yarn, once it gets too long, it becomes less productive. So we're gonna keep that short and move on to our next one, which we're also gonna put a bead on. We're gonna do the same hook, same bead, same setup, just a different color. I just like mixing these colors and mix and match. Just lets me have a better variety depending on the weather conditions, the cloud conditions, everything like that. Just need a little refreshment here. Sorry about that. Good to go. My hands are sore. Been tiling my bathroom the last couple days, which is why I haven't been out fishing at all. But nonetheless, here I didn't put my hook in or my bead on, so we're gonna take that hook off. Yeah, my fingers do not have the same dexterity as normal this week. I'm dropping things that I normally wouldn't drop. Just don't have a good grip on things. But having these pliers say literally just dropped these on my keyboard. God. I don't even know what to say. I guess I've already said it. So no need to beat that dead horse. Fingers hurt, and they're obviously affected by this, by the tiling I've been doing. All right, we got the hook on. I'm gonna put some weight on. About 1.25 inches is all you need for this big bead. Just watch your finger and the hook point here. And then use your fingernails to get the start and the finish coil to go the way you want it to, which can be challenging, but it's possible. All right, shove that up in there as far as you can get it. And then make your jam knot. Make a thread dam building up to your wire, and then do some thread wraps over the wire. To an extent, doesn't have to be perfect. But that's pretty good there. All right, color-wise, we're gonna go with the hot pink this time. Here. This stuff is thick. We don't need a lot of it. Just about 1.25 inches too, just like our wire. Unfortunately with this, we have to use red for our hotspot because nothing else really contrasts it and represents good blood. If you had like a dark blue, that might work. But we're just going to use red since we don't have that dark blue or even a dark purple. This will be fine though. This will do what we needed to. We just folded our thread or our yarn across the thread. And now we're securing it. Thanks for the likes out there. I know we don't have a lot of people on, but I do appreciate everyone's time. I hope that that you can learn from this, and that one day I can learn from you on the channel here, out on the stream, whatever comes our way. Take every day as an opportunity to learn. That's all you can ask for. Right. This fly is all but done. Just gotta do our trim work. And voila. Nice hot pink with a red blood spot. Big bead. Good weight distribution. Simple. That's number 5 for us tonight. We do have one more color here that we haven't tied yet, which saved my personal favorite for last. In terms of the colors that we have tonight, anyway. Just gonna grab my bead with the needle nose pliers with either point facing up. We're gonna grab our hook, thread that through there, and secure it to the vise. Get some wire. We went a little shorter this time with the wire, about 1 inch. Maybe 1 inch and 1/8. And we'll shove that in our bead to secure. So our tail is a little loose there, so I had to pull it back out a little bit. Good to go. Attach the thread. Let's get rolling. Just on our jam knot right behind that. Only really need 4 or 5 turns. We're gonna secure it a little bit more here now. All right, we got our good taper there. Excuse me again. All right. Now for the color we've all been waiting for. Oregon cheese glow bug yarn. Oregon cheese. This stuff is gold. This is like my confidence fly for steelhead. This color. Uh-oh, I dropped it. Gotta make sure it's not covered in cat hair or dog hair. I think we're good. With this, I always tie it with the cotton candy micro yarn for the hot spot. It's the combo right there. You heard it here first. Oregon cheese, cotton candy, blood spot. That's the one. So just take your yarn, fold it over, give it a little pinch. Make a loop around the hook, lift it up, pull straight down. And we secure. Make sure not to trap any fibers, and then if you do, just wrap them up in the helicopter to kind of bring them upward again. The point of this fly is to have everything on top of the hook. Whip finish and you're done. Of course, we gotta fluff it out and trim it a little bit, but it's all right. And just as a friendly reminder, in order to comment here, you do have to have a public YouTube channel. Or, well, not a channel, but a public Google account. Because YouTube will not allow you to comment without having an active YouTube account, which means you have to have an active Google account. But those are the only requirements to comment. I don't have any. You don't have to subscribe to be a commenter on the channel. Not for this video. This is for anyone. All right, look at that thing. Money. Look at money. If I was a fish, I'd eat that. For sure. Alright. I think we'll go with a similar color this time in green. I like the green too. And chartreuse in the fishing world. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Getting a bead. This is the last hook in this setup, in this bag anyway. I have more bags of it, of course. Like I said, I have a lot of this size. I usually only fish like super fast waters with these because the hook is so big that like I'm pretty sure the fish can easily see it unless it's in some real turbulent water, and then it doesn't really matter, to be honest. They see the big clump of yarn, but they're not seeing the hook itself. which is perfectly okay. That's why we got to be specific in how we use the flies that we make, which just comes with experience. I by no means am an experienced fly fisherman, but I do think about it a lot. You know what I mean? Just sitting there thinking about it. That's me. Good here. Just gonna get this all secured. Security. Building that thread dam will help you get to a point where you can actually cover these thread wraps. So that's all I'm doing here. These wire wraps. Good to go. All right. One thing we didn't tie actually, let's do that, is we didn't use our actual white colors yet. We've used close to white, but didn't actually use white yet. I think I got this at Dick's Sporting Goods actually. It's like a multi-color pack with I think they have 2 different packs. I only got this one. It has white, red, and hot pink in it. But I mean, pretty phenomenal steelhead colors there. That definitely work in this area, in this part of New York. And for white, you can pretty much use whatever you want as a hotspot. So I'm gonna go and pick the salmon color actually. I'm gonna use some of that. Rolling it up with my fingers here. Yeah, see, that didn't feel right. And the loop that I had there slipped a little. Did not work. Not at all. That's okay. We'll just start over with the loop, that is. Actually, as the more I mess with this, the worse it gets. Of course. I don't know. Can you see this? It's like all tangled up now. Just separating the fibers again. Then making sure that my fold is good. Try to pinch that all together. Best we can, of course. We got it now. We got it more secure this time. Although this one is a little further back on the hook than I like. I wanted it to be a little closer to the bead, but that's okay. Like I said, big turbulent water looks don't matter as much when you're fishing a big guy like this in that fast water. Good to go. Throw a little snip here. Good to go. This stuff is thick. Perfect. Yeah, I like that color combination. White and salmon. Good washout colors. Subtle. Okay. Let's tie a little bit smaller ones now. I got a huge pack of Eagle Claw laser sharps with the needle points. 63 pack. So, oh wow, this is a new pack. So we're gonna open it up, you know, christen it without losing all of them, preferably. But these are also octopus, folks. So they got a good shape. Get you a better angle here. Yeah, that guy. Good shape to it. We're not going to be getting a bead on this because it's small enough. These are, what size are these? Size 8. They're not as thick of a wire as the other ones, but that's all right. And I'm not going to tie weight on these. Just going to use the thin profile to allow it to sink more. Just fine. Now we're going to go back to green. We've used all of our colors now, including the white that I forgot. We'll go back to green. So last time we used the micro yarn, maybe this time we'll use a different colored hotspot. But still sticking with the green. Hope you all are having a good night. It's almost the new year. Who knows? Maybe we'll have another stream for New Year's. I don't think we haven't really celebrated New Year's in a long time. The boys do not stay up that late, so sorry. Just got a notification that YouTube is struggling with the video here. That's probably my internet. So let's do a short break and we'll get back to the stream here. I want to make sure the internet's good. All right, let's take a break. Alright, I think our internet's good. I think we're good. Jack, can you show how to get thread on the bobbin without the tool? Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, so I mean this tool in particular is the kind of has the two clips on the side. So we'll remove it just by widening the clips. Take out your thread. Looks like this. Actually, let's go back to our let's switch cameras here. Use a little bigger camera. So this is what the tool looks like. All you're using here is you open it up a little bit, slide your thread in so that it holds it. Then grab the tag end thread, moisten it. And then all you're doing is feeding it through the hole down on the bottom. This is if you don't have the tool. If you have the tool, it's so much easier. But I don't have the tool. So you just want to get a little bit on there just to get it started like this. And then you just want to inhale a little bit on the end of it and it'll come up through. Just like that. The thing is here, you just got to make sure that your thread goes straight from bobbin or from reel to the hole through the bobbin. And then you're good to go. I hope that helps. Excellent question, though. So I put some tools here on the screen, just some basic tools used for this fly. Coming back to it, we got a size 8 eagle claw octopus hook. We're gonna go back to our green color with the probably a fluorescent hot pink hotspot. Yeah. Just twisting our hotspot before we lay it on there. Now we got to get on the hook. A little jam knot. I like to stay at least, when I'm not using a bead, I still stay back off the hook eye. This shank is really slippery. Still stay back off the hook eye, just because I don't like crowding the eye of the hook. Makes it easier to tie in to your fishing line later down the road, trust me. But there we go. No need to build up a body here. We're not covering the wire wraps. So we're just going to fold that around, make our loop, pull it straight down. Figure 8. Helicopter. Good to go. That's simple. When the night is done here, I will take all these flies and just add a dab of head cement to each of them. And I do that on the underside of the wraps, or of the thread here, the thread wraps. It just makes them more durable. I haven't really seen, well, I have, but on rare occasions, you'll usually lose these to the bottom before you have any thread unraveling going on. So using the size of the hook gap as a guide, we cut it to length. Now we're just doing some minor trimming here. So we don't have any stragglers. Another reason why to put this sharp, why to put the wraps further back from the eye of the hook is when you fluff it out like this, it's going to crowd the hook a little bit. So I like to put it about the middle of the shank if I can. There we go. All right, since we got 62 more of these, might as well tie another one of this size. I don't know how long we're going to go. We're at almost an hour and a half now, but I'm just hanging out. I don't know about you guys. You guys are hanging out here. Why? I'm not going to leave. Why would I do that? We'll probably go at least. How many flies we got? 2, 4, 6, 8. We'll do at least 2 more. Go for 10 tonight. Pretty good number. Good number indeed. The color. Salmon. Salmon color. And the only hotspot we have that goes with the salmon is red. So salmon and red. It is. Hope you guys are enjoying. Like I said, I hope you guys are eventually joining in here. If you want to tie just these flies, like steelhead flies, and salmon egg, and just egg pattern flies, these materials are really cheap, and you can get started pretty easily with this stuff. Like, you don't have to buy a bunch of tools. Everyone probably has needle nose pliers available. Scissors for the yarn. Just need a good pair of fly tying scissors, a vise, some yarn or some thread, some yarn. I mean, you can get started for this under $50 easily. Oops, I just bumped my camera. That. Oh. The camera is off. Good looking fly. All right. Let's do another here. If we're going to stop here, what color are we going to do? Let's go with the anchovy. Just got to get our hook in here. Good to go. Hotspot color. We'll do the hot pink. I got good placement on this one, I think. Gotta not mess up the last part here. All right, folks. I think that's it. Got 10 good patterns tonight. Different combinations of size and color. If you're just now joining, check out the first 9 here or so. Really easy to tie these, and they're super good for steelhead fishing. Hopefully we'll get some videos of these on the water. Look at that. Good to go. All right. Thanks for watching to the end, folks. And I'll catch you next time. See you out on the water.